So it's 7:01 and there's 4 of us. What do you guys think?
Let's get it together and go.
Well, so we're missing Drew and Commissioner Douglas, and then,
Nobody filled Ashley's spot yet, I don't think.
right, but I don't know if we're supposed to count that in the quorum or not.
Commissioner Douglas won't be here today.
Okay.
But do we, DC, do you know if we're supposed to count Ashley's seat in our quorum totals?
She resigned.
She
Right,
resigned, but you have a quorum. You have 4 out of 6. That's
We
70%.
have 1, 2.
Yeah, we have 4 of the 7
We're out of
spots.
there.
I think we can go.
okay, fine, that's good.
All right, so,
Is Drew coming?
well, I don't
Said
see
he was
him.
going to be on the phone.
Well,
He
I
said
don't,
he'd have to dial. He said he'd have to dial in if he's having difficulty, but he's going to plan on dialing in.
right, so even though we said that, I don't see him or a phone number.
No.
He's,
no.
he's not in. He's not in yet. If you guys want to call the meeting to order and he pops.
Okay,
Sounds like
then
that's
I'll-
what Travis was about to do.
yeah, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order at 7:02. We'll do a roll call, and as a reminder, please state where you're at. And we'll start with you, Eileen.
Eileen Krupa, Rural Oak, Michigan.
Dawn,
Don Rapinski, Royal Oak, Michigan.
Liz,
Liz Rivard Weston, Royal Oak.
all right, and Travis Moore also in Royal Oak. Let me see, any public comment? Let's see.
Real
We
quick,
do have.
is someone taking notes? I just want to make sure.
Oh, yeah. Does somebody mind taking the minutes today?
I can do that. I just wanted to, I didn't want to start if someone was already doing it.
All right, thanks, Liz, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I don't see anybody.
We have 2 in the waiting room. I'm going to let both of them open them up to talk. One is a
Okay.
phone number. And it might be Drew. So let me-
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, we are in our public comment.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Is this Drew?
Yeah, Drew's online. Sorry, guys. I was
Oh, you're
having
fine.
difficulties with Zoom.
All right, so we did roll call. Do you want to just state where you are and your name?
Yep, Drew Steffes, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073.
All right, thanks. And then any public comment today? It looks like, Monica, we have you in the attendees. Anything you want to share today?
Monica, if you want to talk, you have to unmute. There we go.
Hi, no, I'm just checking in. Just,
All right,
All right, thanks.
thank you. Drew, do you want me to keep chairing this meeting since you're calling in by phone?
It's your call. I can try to run it. I got the agenda pulled up on my phone, but if you feel it's easier, I won't stand in your way.
I have to be honest, Drew, I can barely hear you.
And he sounds like he's calling
All
from.
right.
Okay, I will keep chairing this meeting if you don't have an objection to that.
Thanks, Travis. I appreciate it.
No worries. All right. So next we will move on to the approval of the May 2021 meeting minutes. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes?
The 12 minutes they were given.
Yes.
Right, yeah. I think Dawn just sent them to us. I haven't looked at them yet. It just logged on, so.
I checked them out, and the only comment I have to make, since Mike Frazier made the comment at the meeting, it was the first time that we closed by 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So if we just add 8 o'clock, the meeting was adjourned at 8
Okay.
o'clock, so that it's like a milestone.
Okay,
I thought that was just a social comment.
We
So
always-
I thought that wasn't,
Yeah.
You know.
We always tell what time we close, so,
okay, sure.
but thank
okay,
you.
so do we want to just approve them? I mean,
As amended?
Sure.
Well, it sounds like we need a motion. So is someone making a motion to approve those minutes? as amended?
I'll make a motion to approve the May minutes as they are written.
I
Okay.
second that since I wrote them.
All right. So I will go ahead and call for the vote. We will do a roll call vote. I'll start with you, Eileen.
Yes.
All right. Dawn.
I approve.
All right. Liz.
I didn't read them, so can I abstain?
Sure.
Sure. And Drew.
Yep, I'm good with them.
Okay. I will abstain as well because I have not had a chance to review them. I just saw that we got them. So
Then why don't we just wait till next meeting?
we can do that too. Does somebody, well, okay. So
I don't think you have enough votes to carry it. That's why you
Yeah.
guys should push it to next.
we don't. So does somebody want to make a motion to postpone approval of the May minutes to the July?
I move that we postpone the approval of the minutes until the July meeting.
Okay. Is there a second? Liz, are you nodding second? Yes, okay.
Yes, and typing, so, yes.
All right, then I'll call for the vote on that motion. Eileen,
Yes.
Drew,
Sure, yep.
all right, Dawn,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes,
all right, and I am a yes as well. All right, so we will postpone that approval to the July meeting.
Can we have a quick, I don't know whether this is appropriate or not. Can we have a quick discussion about what the procedure is? Because I talked to Carol Schwanger today, and she told me that I could have sent it out, but that truly what we need to do is we need to send it to the chair first. So for
Do
their,
we want to add that to the
Or
agenda? Because we're
sending it.
moving to the approval
Sure.
of the agenda. So if you'd like
okay,
to add that to the
okay,
agenda.
sure,
Sure.
that would be great.
Okay, so I will put that on the agenda here. Minutes procedure. Okay. And are there any other comments or additions on the agenda?
No.
Dawn?
Yes. I have 5 different items,
Okay,
like-
are these additions?
additions to the agenda.
All right, new business
New business.
items? All right, go
Okay,
ahead.
new business for Oktoberfest. New business furball, comma, maybe. Also additional committee members. Procedure. And
Okay.
then volunteers. I don't know how to call this. The future of volunteering, I guess.
Okay, anybody else? All right, I do have a comment on the minutes. Under the unfinished business, we still have virtual dog walk and t-shirt sale listed there, but I thought the last meeting in May, we kind of closed everything out with that. Are we still keeping it on the agenda or should it
What-
have been removed?
So when I talked to Carol, she said since she didn't have anything from our group, that she sort of winged it and put
Okay.
it together and giving us the opportunity to make changes to the agenda, which will work out just fine the way we're doing right now.
well,
Okay,
may I also suggest then, so we added 8B to the agenda. Can it be minutes and agenda procedure? Because I didn't realize Carol put this agenda together.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need that then too. And
okay,
then technically we have a small update on the dog walk.
okay, I'll leave that one there.
Yeah,
The t-shirt sale, I don't really think there's anything more to share on that. I would be inclined to remove it.
Go for it.
Okay. All right, so I have made the updates to the agenda live. So it should be updated on the link that Drew had sent out earlier. So unless anybody else has anything, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
All right, is there a second?
I second it.
All right, and we will do a roll call vote. Drew?
I support it. Yes.
Okay. Eileen?
Yes,
Dawn?
Yes,
And Liz?
Yes.
All right, and I vote yes as well. All right, that brings us to our first staff report, which is the shelter report. And I see we have the shelter manager, Jody, with us. Hello, Jody.
You do. Hello, Travis. Hello, everybody. Okay, so I sent that out this afternoon. Hopefully everybody got it. Not a lot of changes. Normal number of strays this month. Next, or this for June. Don't be surprised if the number of strays shoots way up. We already had, I think, 7 in the first 4 days of June.
wow.
So nice weather. You know, people are going outside, and maybe the fences, backyards aren't fixed from the winter yet. So yeah, they've all gone back except for one little one who was found in a park, but that'll be next month. So our strays, we did have an adoption. We had a cat, we had a dog. You will see the latest 3 cats were actually adopted the very beginning of June. So that's a good thing. But I'm happy to answer any questions anybody might have about the shelter report.
how many, do you still have some people out with fostering?
Yeah, we have a couple. We still have 5 kittens, 2 cats, and a long-term dog, which basically is a default adoption at this point. But that's one of the things that I have to look into, is potentially putting a time limit on the fostering. It's not anything we had done before because we really didn't have that type of a foster program. But I'm thinking that I need to update the contracts. I'll be talking to DC about that too, about whether the city has guidelines that we need to follow.
So then the 36, that includes the.
That's all of them. Yeah, you can see down at the bottom because it has ones that are, hang on.
1 and 1. It says
Yeah.
contract at adoption.
Well, those are the ones who were, the ones who were either spayed and neutered or on contract. But if you go up to the number of animals at the end of the month, that includes everybody, including ones in foster, because they're still under,
37, yeah.
they're still
Okay.
under our purview. So they are still the city's animals.
Okay. Have you found that most of these that are there are from that group? Am I correct?
Still.
Are you getting calls from people that are giving up? No, not that much?
No, well, I mean, we're getting a few, but the fact is, not only us, but best practices in the industry are avoid shelters if at all possible. Try to find family, friends, rescues, places that are better suited to take them, because obviously what we are there for is for emergency situations at the end of the day. We're not supposed to be taking in, because you know yourself, the turnaround when you want to have them out of there within 30 days, when you've got a 7 to 10 day stray hold, and then you've got to get them to the vet, you know, and then you've got to get them listed and seen. It's almost impossible to do 30 days with a number of these animals. And especially because the ones that we get in are not generally the little fuzzy adoptable ones. We get the ones that, you know, quite often somebody let go because they were a problem. So we are getting a few calls, but we're also able to then redirect people have the discussion with them and redirect to other ways that they may be able to find homes where they're not put into the shelter. They are sent to home-based rescues, or they're rehomed directly by the families.
Yeah, I talked to someone from Pontiac shelter, and they got 40 dogs.
Just, they had them what? Was it like a breeding situation?
No, people are giving up.
So they've got 40 overall, or
Yeah.
is it just like all of a sudden they got these 40 in?
They just, not in one lump, but they're housing now 40.
Well, and so you're talking Oakland County, OCAC?
No, Pontiac City.
Which, I didn't realize that Pontiac had their own.
Yeah, it's brand new. It's $1 million shelter. It's
Oh.
absolutely gorgeous.
I think
That's
I was
on the
talking
outside.
about, I think you're talking about the Oakland County shelter, Eileen. It is in
No, I'm
Pontiac.
not. No, I'm not. I'm not talking about the Oakland County. I'm talking on the one on Martin Luther Highway.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
know it was there.
off of Woodward, Telegraph.
Mhm.
No.
Well, and if they're brand new too, because I wasn't aware they had their own shelter, but if they're brand new, they may also be just accepting a lot of animals that
I
other
think
places
they-
aren't.
I haven't been there because of COVID, and
Yeah.
But the fellow that I know that volunteers there said that it's quite big. They have a good capacity, but they use, like we do, fosters too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
and ideally moving forward, because that's a good thing to segue into. There are a number of programs that I would love to see us be able to champion. And moving forward, I think if we could work closely with a few foster-based rescues, then that might help us also
No,
open
it
up
would.
that pipeline. It's
Yeah.
not something we've really done in the past. There are one or two,
Uh-huh.
but to just actually have a relationship and agreements with some might help us a lot.
yeah, that's good.
Any other questions about the report? That was kind of a
Oh.
tangent, but it was all good information.
I just wondered, when are you going to have volunteers come in? Not a lot,
We've
one or
started bringing volunteers back in. Right now, we are using what we need. It's,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, no.
Okay, any other questions for Jody? All right, then we will move on to the financial report with
Thank
DC
you.
Frazier.
All right, well, I sent it out this morning. For the month of May, we took in about just under $2,400, bringing our total revenue brought in for the year to 67,419 and some change, about 37% of what we budgeted to bring in. Our expenditures for the month were 11,300, bringing a total of $42,000 in expenditures, about 60% of our budgeted amount. June is the last day of the budget, or last month of the budget cycle, and then we'll start a new budget July 1st.
Okay, any questions for DC Frazier?
Man, I must have really nailed it.
Yeah, you did. Thank you. I think we're trying to set a new goal. We're shooting for that 8 o'clock again.
I'm all for it.
All right, then we will move on to the first item of unfinished business, which is the virtual dog walk. And Liz, do you want to take that?
Sure. So I can't talk. We reported out on the numbers last meeting, but I just wanted to share that in terms of the dog walk component, we had we offered the first 10 people to post a selfie with a hashtag that they can get a prize, and one person did it. And we delivered their prize to their doorstep. They just happened to be my neighbor. But we were able to put together a nice gift basket for them and their cat. So
Yeah, so the winner had a cat, not a dog.
So we found some nice cat toys in the donations.
Yeah.
I think car detailing certificate and
A pet supply plus $25 gift certificate.
yeah. Yep. So yeah, so that it happened. We did it. Maybe in the future the virtual component can be more interactive. I mean, obviously we're grateful for the one interaction, but it's something maybe we can grow off of if we try to do this in the future. But that is it for the update. Are there any questions about the execution on that, or?
I'm wondering if the money that came into the shelter was the money that was from the WROK. DC? Hello?
He might be.
Sorry, I had a bad connection. What was the question again?
Okay, so was the money that came into the shelter last month, the money that came in from the WROK?
I didn't do a breakdown on where all the revenues came. You kind of got to drill into that. I can
Well, it sounded about the
tell
same
you.
amount.
Yeah. It's just miscellaneous revenue, $1,850 came in
Oh.
miscellaneous revenue.
Yeah,
So that might be it.
then it wasn't that, because it was the revenue was more than that, so maybe it has.
Then
to
we had 3,300 in donations, or 33,
that could have been it.
846 donation and 1,500 in donation just for medical. So I'm
Okay.
going to say no.
I'm wondering if they
Hey,
might not have
Dawn.
cut the check yet.
I'm sorry, again,
They might not have cut the check yet.
they may not have.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
think about how long it took us to get our shirts, right?
the last time we did this, when we did the walk with the Barktoberfest before, I want to say it took at least a couple of months to get the check from them, and them being custom ink. So
Right,
I would imagine that they probably just haven't sent it yet, and that
Could
it
be.
should hit this month or next, hopefully.
yeah.
Yeah,
Could
that would be a fast turn. That would be a fast turnaround for cutting a check and getting it into our treasury and being on the books.
Right. Okay. Thanks. That's a great prize for that person who won.
Yeah.
I mean, even with a cat, things they can use.
Exactly.
That's awesome. All right, great.
Yeah.
So if there's
You know
no-
what? He'll talk it up. It'll be a good thing.
Sure, fair enough. Okay, the next item under unfinished business, I see other near future. I'm guessing that must be about, are there any
Idea.
near future events or fundraisers or ideas? Anybody have anything for this item?
Yeah, I had it, and I had a list here, but what about Fifth Avenue? Having something in the fall, or maybe Diane is going to have, Diane is thinking of the fur ball, and
Yeah, you mean Dawn, me?
is that,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
thinking about that in October, or what month?
No.
Oh,
If
the
we do,
fur ball will be.
yeah, if we do fur ball again, it'll probably be next spring. It takes a long time to pull it
Yeah.
together.
Okay,
But also Barktoberfest is going to come back because the chamber is doing Barktoberfest. Last time we did it 2 years ago, we did it as a dog walk, and I wanted to bring that up today because we've got the t-shirts. We could change the colors. It has the mask on the front of it that says 2021, and we could use that in it like as part of the 50-year anniversary of, is it 50 years, 100 years, 100-year anniversary of the city. So it could all work in together because Barktoberfest is going to be around the same time as the 100-year anniversary for the city. So we could do another dog walk, but do it in person.
Okay, do we want to talk about that when we get to that item on the
Yeah,
agenda?
that would be great.
All right. Jody, did you have an idea?
I just had a question about that, about whether Don had already talked to anybody at the chamber about it and whether they'd be willing to tie it in and cross promote, which would actually get a lot more exposure. So that was my question, but that can.
I'm married to that.
All right, we'll get to it then. If there's nothing else for this other near future, I think we'll just move into the new business because that seems to be where most of this is at.
Okay.
Travis, I had about 3 things, and one of them was Fifth Avenue. The other one that I thought about was Leon and Lulu's. They allow a shopping day,
Okay.
and that might be something nice near the holidays or something like that, October, November.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to add these things, these future items to our parking lot at the bottom so that we
Sure.
don't lose track of them, especially something that we want to do like that far out. That way they're on there and we don't lose them, but I guess they're not anything that we need to plan right now, right?
Well, the only thing that you have to plan is to set a date or, schedule with them because they book up
Yeah.
pretty fast.
Okay.
And so, it's like 2 to 3 months before that you have to book with them.
Yeah.
If you want some information on that, I can probably get it for you for next month.
Yeah, that'd be good if you can bring that back and then at our next meeting, we can
She
decide.
has
on
a
a date.
dog that's always in her place, so.
Okay. Yeah, will you find out the details from her on what we need to do and then we can pick a date? Are you thinking like November, December?
Well, she's usually booked around December, I know, but it might have to be, I'll find out.
Okay.
What's available, what's nice. Oh, and the other one, but it's costly, is Ridley's Comedy Castle.
Mhm.
Because it's like 1,000, and then if you have a dinner, then you have to pay for the catering. But the comedian comes with hall rental.
Yeah.
And so that takes a lot of planning, just like your furball.
Mhm.
Okay, I put that on the parking lot
Okay.
too. I think that's something that we can also discuss here shortly. So is there any other items that we need to discuss right now under old business though, or unfinished business?
Additional committee members. But
Do we
that's
have
not.
that-
We added that to 8E. We're good there.
Okay, so we'll move on. So we got the new business. Letter A is donations and fundraising. I think most of these items we added are
Are under there.
related to fundraising somehow. So I will move on to the next.
Is that where I give you the money that I picked up or got from the farmer's market and that, or?
I thought that was public comment.
Okay, because I can't find it right now. I put it down somewhere and I can't find it. So public comment, okay.
Okay, so the next item is the minutes and agenda procedure. And Dawn, do you want to lead us off on that?
I just want to know how to handle this because, there's nothing wrong here. I didn't know. I thought that I was supposed to send the minutes to the chair and then the chair would disperse. And so because nobody had received it and I was getting questions about it today, I contacted Carol Schwinger to get clarification and she said, you can send it out. Although normally what you do is you send it to the chair reviews it and sends it on, but it's completely okay to do it, how I ended up doing it. So, but they really need to have it at least 48 hours prior to.
Okay, so
But
here's my thought on that is that maybe we could just send them and CC Drew on them.
Right. Yeah.
And then that way he has them and the city also has them too, because I know there are things like, I mean, he should review them, but they're not gonna change until they come before our committee again
Right.
anyways, right?
Wait,
So,
Right.
You guys, I think we need to back up a little bit though. So the minutes don't go to the city until we vote on
There's
them.
been approved.
okay.
This is right.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking agenda. I was thinking agenda. Sorry.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page.
Well,
So I think what you said, Travis, still works, but maybe instead of sending them to the city, I guess just whoever takes the minutes, I guess, send it to the committee.
That's what I did when I took them. I sent
Right.
them to everybody because I
Okay.
didn't know we just sent them. I mean, Drew, do you have a position on that? Do you want them just to come to you or do you want them to come to everybody?
We can just have it go to everybody. That's fine.
Okay.
In the past, it was, they went to everybody, they came to the committee, the minutes were accepted, and then the accepted minutes then are sent to the city. Like
Okay.
Ed said, that was the procedure
So,
that I was taught.
so then, Eileen, you bring up a good point. So I think we got before the meeting under control, but then what happens after the meeting?
Right.
So typically that was when Eileen was the chair and I was the vice chair. As vice chair, I committed to taking the minutes all the time, but that was something I did, not something that's tied to the role of vice chair. And then I did send them to the city. However, I was always taking the minutes, so it was like the same person.
Right.
I would like to recommend, we don't have to do it this way, but I'd like to recommend that whoever sends this stuff to the city always sends it to the city, just because, I mean, the city staff, they have enough on their plate. They don't need to know, all 6 of us, right? And to know what we're sending them. I think it makes sense that
Right.
we're in a contact to get both the minutes and the agenda to the city.
I'm fine always being I think the president should be fine being the person who always sends everything to the city. I don't see an issue with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so once they're approved, you will send them to the city then.
Right.
Okay. All right.
And that's kind of how I've been operating. I mean, I think just to make stuff easier, if we can just try to wrap the meeting minutes and get them published as soon as possible, so we can turn them around to the city before the next meeting, and then I can always submit the published stuff. Go ahead.
So Drew, that's still incorrect. So they don't go to the city until we vote on them. Period.
Right. But yes, I get what you're saying. Okay.
So, I mean, the request is that the turnaround, I guess, to the group be as soon as possible, but really the real kind of legal binding thing that we have to follow is trying to get those minutes that are approved to the city as soon as possible after they're approved.
I think at one time she said 48 hours
Oh, really? Okay.
after they are approved. After they're approved. Now, I could be wrong, but I think that's what, maybe I have some paper that says it somewhere. I don't know.
Okay, so let me try to recap this. So the person that takes the minutes will send them to the entire committee. Then we will vote on them at our next meeting. And then the chair will forward the approved minutes on to the city.
That's what I have in the minutes.
Okay, I think
So-
we're good. Do we need to vote on that procedure or just,
If it's already in place, I don't think we need to.
and that's what we'll do. All right, cool.
I don't want to miss the agenda piece though. So I
Right.
guess what happened with the agenda, I didn't see it until, basically an hour or so before the meeting. What's the agreement on that? Like, is there a certain time frame that we should commit to having the agenda so we can review before the meeting? What does the committee need?
1 week before would be nice.
Carol Schwanger said that she needs it no later than the Friday before the following Thursday. So essentially,
7 days in advance.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, I apologize I didn't get it out sooner. I was on holiday the last 2 weeks, so I haven't had access to computer or anything. So make sure that's out sooner.
So I guess who made the agenda? It sounded like that Carol actually put it together for
Carol
us.
did.
Carol
Carol did it.
No. The agenda for today's meeting?
Yeah, Carol said she did it.
No, I put the agenda together, and I think I might have forwarded it to Carol, but I've always put the agendas together. Carol has not.
Okay, that's helpful.
Okay, so then it sounds like we know our time frame at least for that, and the procedure stays the same for that. So is there anything else that we need to talk about under minutes and agenda procedure?
Mm-mm.
Okay, then we will move on to the ever popular Barktoberfest. And Dawn, I'm sure you're just bursting at thoughts with this.
Well, I just figured that the one that we did 2 years ago, we had the walk, and then it led into the Barktoberfest. So I don't know what Liz's feeling is about it, but it was just sort of fun having a real walk prior to it. We already have the t-shirts, so we could use that, and we could also sell other t-shirts. So, and just make money off of the t-shirts towards the shelter.
Or yes, another way to look at it could be, we did do the t-shirt sale. We could separate and actually do a dog walk. I mean, with Furball, we were able to make that relationship with the city to use their Eventbrite. So
Right.
maybe we can just sell tickets. I mean, it would be nice if they were all wearing our t-shirt, but maybe we can do something different, like a sweatband. I mean, something vintage. I don't know. But
There's an idea.
something like
We can
something
do
like,
little bands for the dog's feet.
something like that. But maybe something
It'll work out.
different. But maybe
Yeah.
we can also sell tickets too. So I don't know. I think what I liked about it was that the weather was good for a walk. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't cold. It was just it was a nice
Right.
day. And
Yep.
then the folks who walked, right after the walk, they could make their way over to the park to actually attend the
Mhm.
event. So Dawn and I planned the route close enough to the park. So while I guess parking wasn't right next to each other, but still like the general vicinity was together.
Right.
And the chamber did help us promote. I don't remember exactly, it was a couple of years ago, but the chamber did help.
Yeah. There'll be, if we ask Shelley for help, dealing with animals, she's all in. So we don't have to worry about that a bit.
So I have a question. Do you guys think there would be any benefit to sourcing shirts or headbands differently instead of going through the complications of custom ink? Because I mean, I think between myself and maybe some other contacts that I have, I could probably get funds together to buy some things to then sell. I mean, like selling at the event or like doing something. I don't know. I feel like it was more complicated to try to tie the custom ink thing and an event together somehow. Like,
I think that had a lot to do with COVID. And I think that they didn't have enough people working for them as well, just like everybody else.
I heard what Travis said a little bit different. I think with the virtual job fair, sorry, that's my work brain. With the virtual job walk, with the virtual dog walk, you're right. Like something happened with the marketing, right? It first went out that it was just a t-shirt sale. Then we're like, wait, no, it's part of the dog walk. It's for the tickets. So we tried to kind of recapture it, but I still think it ended up being two very separate things. Now, when Dawn and I did the dog walk 2 years ago, it actually did work. We did sell more t-shirts and people showed up, but we were able to get the marketing together that it did make I felt like
Made
it
more
made
sense.
sense. So we did have two different experiences using the same model.
I do also think that we should do a different item, whether it's a headband or something, because I don't think we want to do another shirt in 2021. I think we probably tapped into that willingness to order a shirt market for now. Like, I mean, maybe if we were selling them at an event or selling, something at a booth at Barktoberfest or something like that. But I think the market for ordering shirts and then providing an additional donation on top of that is maybe tapped out for 2021 because we just did that so recently. Like if we wanted to do an event with the t-shirt ordering piece next year, I think it would be fine. But like maybe we should find a different item, whether it's a hat or a headband or something.
Well, it's not gonna be a mask, that's for sure,
Well, that's true.
you know?
Um,
And we need something that's gonna make us some money. So,
And that's the thing, we could look at it a different way. So we could plan this dog walk or whatever, have it be whatever
Yeah.
event. And instead of someone having to order something tangible to be the ticket, we can do the Eventbrite sale, but then we can go through a local company that
Mhm.
brand things and order a quantity, and it's almost like a door prize, right? So hey, you bought your $20 dog walk ticket, here's something we paid $5, right, or whatever
Right.
to make.
Yep.
Here's your gift.
Dog leashes
We could
with ROAS on
could do that.
yeah, I
Or-
think
or-
it. Or
a lot of creative
very
ideas.
generic, I love my pet.
Yep. Well, even the young woman Monica, who's attending right now, she had suggested doing Christmas ornaments,
Mhm.
selling
Yeah.
Christmas ornaments. She had a laundry list of the different really great ideas. So maybe we go ahead and look at that list
Oh yeah,
and pick out
great
some
idea.
things and use that towards, an event. Make it fun.
I got just a loose idea. You mentioned Christmas, Dawn. What about is there maybe I wonder if we could contact a local business that kind of focuses or specializes in making meals at Thanksgiving, and then maybe we have some sort of fundraiser where they mention Royal Oak Animal Shelter, and every person that buys a dinner package or whatever and mentions Royal Oak Animal Shelter, we're able to drive some business for them, but they make a donation to the animal shelter or something like that for every meal.
Well, we can look at something like that. We certainly can inquire. It's going to, and frankly, everything is going in that scenario. It's going to depend on restaurants and how they're functioning and whether they have restaurant help again. So, because we all know where that's going right now.
So I was thinking about.
Well, yeah, I could. Go ahead.
Nope, go ahead, Drew. I was changing back to what we were talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking like a honey baked ham scenario where it's a lot of carry out business. So they're pushing volume.
Yeah.
Well, that or a grocery store, and they have special turkey price if you're a Royal Oak donator, or if you buy the turkey at the grocery store.
Yeah, like the pre-cooked meals that you take home. Yeah.
Or non-pre-cooked too,
So maybe with this dog walk, Dawn,
Mhm.
I'm thinking back to what I had said now that I kind of like hindsight's 2020, right? So, we had the dog walk in parallel with Barktoberfest, and it happened off-site. Maybe the next dog walk, maybe we can have I don't know what it would look like, but a stronger partnership or something
Mhm.
with the chamber where the dog walk actually happens on the premise of Barktoberfest. Like maybe we have like a check-in booth, actually within the event, and maybe the
Mhm.
route is around, or maybe it's the scavenger hunt, like, stop at a booth and get a stamp or a treat or, something like
Oh my
that.
God, that would be so much fun.
I guess I wonder if there's a way for us to integrate in with it more. I think, I don't want to be like negative, but I think a challenge might be is that I'm trying to remember, I think the chamber said that they partner with multiple shelter type organizations for that event.
Mhm.
So I think they might have some reservations about only, focusing on one. So that's something we need to look out for. They might not be open to that, but
But, and also remember the park, what is it, the park? Never mind. I'm thinking well, just trying to think of the new park that the city
Over
has,
on,
that's off Normandy.
yes, Normandy, the new.
There's
Normandy
the whole, I keep thinking that park would be ideal for a dog walk.
Well,
I think there's gonna be
There's
a
gonna be
lot
some,
going on at that park this year because it's just about to open, and I think it's going to be extremely popular. So I
that's
don't,
great.
yeah, I
That's
mean, it's great, but I don't know. I mean, I guess, do we know where they're having it for sure?
what, Barktoberfest?
Yeah,
Usually it's at Memorial Park.
it's in Memorial Park. Okay.
Let me check with Mike, and he's not home this week, so
it's
I'll
usually.
find out from him.
Okay.
Usually there.
Because I'm just thinking
We
Normandy,
know at
I
that,
don't know that they would do an event there or not. I mean, it
Travis,
depends.
at that park, they have a lot of booths with knick-knack stuffs for dogs and that. And so going back to that thing about stamping and getting so many stamps, etc., and then getting a prize or something like that might work out because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of free stuff, a ton of free stuff there.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to sell anything there because there's so much free stuff.
Yeah.
so I guess the question is, and maybe it's too early, but what are the next steps? Is there people who want to take this on? What?
I don't think it's gonna be until October-ish,
Okay.
like late September, early October-ish. So if that's the case, we still have a little bit of time.
You want me to put it on the parking lot?
Yeah,
Okay.
till next month.
I was going to say, I actually disagree because I think we would need to make a decision by next month, whether or not we want to go forward. Because I mean, it's going to
Okay.
be trying to pull the event together. I think it needs to stay on the main agenda.
Okay, that's fine. Let me too.
I'll leave, I'll
Okay.
take it back off of there and we can revisit it next
Yep.
month.
So
Liz, how many people do you really need to pull that off?
I don't know.
We don't know. We're gonna have to figure all of that out. Because
Well,
there aren't many on our committee right now.
well, no, we've got that. We're supposed to have that nice list that.
Well, we'll talk about that shortly,
Okay.
Well,
because that's one of my subjects.
I guess I didn't mean like we all need to work. I mean, we could all work together on it. That's not what I'm
Right.
not saying. But I was also wanting to see if was there anybody who felt passionate about it that wanted to take it on. I'm interested. I don't know if I have the capacity, but I'm interested. It sounds like Dawn's interested too, but I don't want to assume that she has the capacity. So
Right.
see, was there anybody that
Yeah.
wanted to own it?
I can do some, but I can't do a lot. Okay.
That's fair. Thanks, Eileen.
Next,
And Eileen.
Okay, so we will move on to furball.
well, Liz and I have not even talked about it yet.
Do we want to just revisit it next month then?
Well, yeah, because both of us have stuff in our houses.
Okay.
We need to get rid of.
We can keep
but
it on the agenda because
Yeah.
it's really kind of a long-term thing from now,
Yeah,
right?
well, it really does it takes a while to organize it.
Right.
So,
It does, but I think
we had a good basis. We had a
yeah,
good
we
base.
do. But I think there's something within this furball idea that almost came to fruition that I think could really play in nicely with the new location and with the dealership that's helping with that. So
Right.
I think Dawn and I were up to something big a year ago. Well, I guess a year and a half ago. But I think with all the changes that have happened in the past year, I think it could even be bigger. So yeah, I'd be interested in taking talk and think about that.
What about the venue? I mean, where did you? I was trying to
Well,
think
it was-
where
it was-
you can hold it.
It was going to be the upstairs of Fifth Avenue.
Tony gave us that
Okay,
location. So, and there were a lot of people who were donating stuff, whether their time, whether their abilities, whether, I mean, it was shocking how much was going to be given to us. So that any thing that we were selling as far as tickets was going to be all gravy, so to speak.
mhm. Yeah, because the more, if you can pre-sell the tickets, a lot of times they don't come. And so it's.
And that's fine, doesn't matter.
For profit. Yeah,
As long as you have the money, it's good,
Yeah.
it's still fine. So that's the point of it.
And I think the good news is I've said this before, but I think it's worth revisiting. All the companies and local businesses that donated money and sponsored, none of them asked for their donation back. So
Right.
hoping, we saved a budget. So I'm hoping that, you know, when it comes time to do this again, that we can say, look, we have X amount of dollars in donations that have been waiting. Hopefully we can tap into those and, you know, apply them to the future event. I'm hoping. so.
Exactly.
I'll help.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just going to be some manpower reaching out and finding, you know, who's still interested and want to be part of it. So, yeah. So,
Okay.
so put that as something that we will be looking at again next month, please.
All right, I'll leave it, oops, on the agenda. So the next item is additional committee members. And I haven't looked to see if that's posted yet for a new committee member. DC, do you happen to know?
I'm not 100% of it's posted. I'm not 100% of if Ashley officially submitted like a resignation. So I don't even know if the city knows unless I read it in the minutes. So I will check on that either tomorrow or Monday. Actually, I'm out of town Monday. Check on it either tomorrow or Wednesday.
Okay,
Okay.
See where we're at.
all right, thanks.
I want to know who's winning at the game.
Not us.
All right, Dawn, did you have anything else on that, or were you just kind of looking for an update on?
I just wanted to know what, because I know the procedure is the city has to open that up.
Yeah, they'll
You know-
post the vacancy.
Yeah, and do we have to limit the number of members that are on the committee?
I believe that the committee numbers are assigned and that's handled by the city, I believe.
Okay, all right.
It's probably in the, what is that document? What is the name of that I'm looking for?
The ordinance,
Yes,
I'm thinking it is. I don't remember.
generally it is. So I'm just looking right now to see if I can find if that committee position is posted or not. Hang on just a minute. Vacancies. No, it's not currently posted, so maybe she hasn't officially resigned yet. So we'll give DC a chance to look into that.
Okay,
Anything else on that one, Dawn?
nope.
All right, we will move on to the future of volunteer.
Okay. So I'd like to address this one, and that is, and I think this is going to be a larger conversation, because I know we have a list of people who, from the past, who wanted to volunteer for whatever they were volunteering for, whether it was feeding and loving up cats and dogs, or being part of helping the shelter to do things around the shelter. What I would like to throw out there is I think that there are more different levels of volunteerism. We are supposed to be a fundraising committee. And that being so, I think taking the list of the volunteers that we have now and we have their email addresses, or I don't, not when I say we, I use it as a broad, I'm throwing the net. I would personally like to be heavily involved with connecting with volunteers. And there could be a portion of volunteers who want to work at the shelter, people who want to help in raising money in whatever way they want to, and they could bring the money to us, and then volunteers who are willing to go out and be part of a larger type of fundraising package, and being able to determine that. I know recently when we needed the event that we had that was at the police station, and I know Judy reached out to me and asked, you know, can you pull something together for, and I know she reached out to you as well, Travis, you know, pulling some people together at the last minute to show up to man tables. Well, we really need to have some kind of structure in place that we have the ability to call people, you know, contact people quickly, whether it's messaging or email or doves, just, or pigeons, some way to get a hold of people very quickly for those people who are the ones who want to turn around and help immediately. So, or picking up pop cans, or, you know, whatever the case is. I wouldn't mind taking something like that on. I am slowly, personally slowing down my business and looking towards retirement. And I would like something to sort of go into that, that could work. But you know, it may be a conversation with Jody in DC or whatever. But I think there's a real opportunity here for the shelter, and making money for it, and being able to spread out what volunteerism looks like.
Okay, now you say that after I've been keeping you so busy. I feel bad now.
Stop it.
All right.
You have no idea how busy I am. I would never
you
tell
can't
you.
retire yet. So, all right. Does anybody know if we still have Liz wanting to, the other Liz wanting to volunteer? Oh, I see Jody has something to share. You're on mute.
So a couple of things. Liz is still doing that, and she is still sending out email blasts. Sorry, I've got a squealer in the back here. Huh? No,
I said, who's that?
who do you think?
All that? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, of course. The minute I get on, it's like, oh, please, shish. So Liz is still doing that. I know that we do have a list of people who are interested in doing, at this point, you know, because of COVID and everything being closed for a while, we're probably a year out of date. So some of that would also, I think, need to be updated. I know with Judy in that event last week, she had approached me about, and a lot of this was happening last minute.
Right,
Because I
right.
think what happened was they sort of forgot about the shelter. They forgot about including the shelter.
Right.
And so she kind of reached out to me last minute, and I'm like, well, I can't do it, and staff can't do it. We're not
Yeah.
available to work an event. So she mentioned the board because you guys know what's going on. We've been obviously working on projects and stuff throughout.
Yeah.
So I think that's why that kind of went the way it did, is that we were kind of an afterthought for that event. So there really wasn't even time to get people together and who knew how to answer questions that might come up. We'll put it that way.
You know, I realize now I probably, because I had sent out an email to the committee, and I think, Jody, I might have left you off of there, but I probably should have put Liz Crampton on there to maybe pull some volunteers, but it was really so last minute. I think it was Wednesday.
It was very much, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Wednesday looking for Friday. And
Yeah.
so,
I really just think it's because, they don't necessarily think of us. We are a department of the police department, but I think a lot of times people just forget that we're part of it, and somehow it came back to mind, but it was just too late. Um, I would ask, as part of this conversation, we would need to establish a way to have these discussions with Liz in a specific manner, so that she's not getting hit up with requests left and right and expected to basically perform a full-time job as our volunteer coordinator. She does a really good job. She just, like, whenever I ask her to find somebody to do something, she's on it. And I do agree that, maybe there's a point person from the committee who could take these to her, but I think limiting it so that only a couple of people are coming to her with these requests, and making sure everybody's in that loop, because I just don't want to burn her out either. It's a lot to ask.
So
So-
Dawn,
so-
would you want to be the link between the committee and Liz then? Is that?
Sure, but
Yeah.
let me just let me understand something. That
Yeah.
the requests that Liz is taking on are people who want to be doers, correct?
Well, she gets all of the completed, Anna put together that
Right.
spreadsheet of all of the people who at that point had applied and been approved, and everything that they wanted to do. And I believe it's been a while since I've checked that spreadsheet, because again, we haven't needed to
Right.
access it.
Yeah.
But I do believe that Liz also has access to that spreadsheet, so she already knows who's willing to do fundraising and who's willing to do whatever the different tasks are. And it's been incredibly helpful, because if I've gone back to her and said, we need somebody who can do this, she's like, I'll send an email. And it does. I get CC'd on it, and then she gets back to me if somebody is, able to do it, or with whoever. So yeah, that access is already there. She already has.
As
Did I
people.
answer that question, or
So-
did I head
so
off in a
she-
tangent?
But what she doesn't have, she doesn't have the people, for example, who worked with us on Furball.
If
who
you
were the
didn't,
movers and
yeah, if they were separate,
Right.
if they didn't do the application through the city, then
Yeah.
no, she wouldn't have that. She has the ones that the city's.
But they wouldn't, and this is where the conversation's going, is you're gonna have people who will have to go through the city. And then we have people who don't have to go through the city, who are like a completely
Yeah.
different group.
Well, I think that we've got a couple of points there that I
Right.
can see. I think it's a question for DC. If the committee is a city committee and the volunteers are coming on to help, then the city probably needs to track them somehow. Do they need to go through the entire application process with the background check? That I think would be a DC question. Whereas, like, if it were a Friends of the Library type of thing, then
Right.
they control themselves. But I do think that because it is a city committee where the volunteers who volunteer for the shelter, is it just in shelter volunteers, or is it out of shelter volunteers?
Mhm.
Once they're approved, can they also do things in? Can they also do things out? So
Yeah.
that would be a question that I would definitely float by DC, and he may not know right now. He may need to do some research as well.
So
Yeah.
maybe we need to sit down and just have a conversation.
Yeah.
Jody,
I definitely can't give a definitive answer on that, but
Oh, gosh, I expected it tonight.
I think, I think if people are volunteering, they at least
Of
should know what
course.
they're volunteering for.
Right.
So I think before we start putting people in a category, if you will, they should at
Sure.
least know where they're being put. So,
And-
but I think it's a great idea on its.
And I think
on its
maybe
face.
DC, they need to know that we have more opportunity than what they think.
Dawn,
Yes.
I agree.
on the application, it has, Jody has given all those little different areas, and one of them is events and fundraising, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't even remember.
So that
Yeah,
would
there are a
go,
lot of categories, and then it's also open for people to, if there are certain skills that they bring that they
right,
might want to volunteer with,
Hmm.
that's on there
yeah,
too.
but when you were talking about whether indoor or, in or.
Sure.
Then that form, once it's okayed by DC, then that person is good for the things that they have identified that they want to do. Or they could expand it as well, but they've been screened.
Right.
So I think you're safe there. Why go through another loop for them to jump through when you've got that one form? That one form covers a heck of a lot.
Yeah, well, and
Agreed.
then the only other question that I would have based on that is if we know somebody wants to come in and maybe help on a committee, like a furball committee,
Uh-huh.
do we want to talk about a separate, more of a waiver than an entire volunteer packet? There are certain things, again, because it's associated with the city. I
Oh.
know the city needs to be able to protect itself, and they don't want people out misrepresenting things. So there probably needs to be some kind of an agreement. But are there degrees? The full volunteer packet, a day of event waiver, because a lot of places will do that. Or is there one where you don't want to set foot in the shelter, but you do want to help with events? Did there need to
Exactly.
be agreements for that
Well,
too? So
it's somewhat like, having a 16-year-old helping at an alcoholic event. The city wouldn't want the 16-year-old waiting on tables and taking care of beer bottles and the like, passing out beer.
right. But at the same
So-
time, if like the catering company has a 16-year-old, is there some kind of a special
Yeah,
waiver
right.
that they can get
Yeah,
as long as they don't handle alcohol? So
right.
I think these are all things that have probably been touched on one way or another. So with a little bit of research, we can probably come up with a good way to take that forward.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a vetting process for any applicant.
Go! Woo!
Did that
Oh,
not come?
dear.
Did that not come through? I'm sorry.
No, we got it. We
Yeah,
were just
we were
laughing at the
getting to-
background noise.
I'm like, I'm ready. I'm at bat. I'm ready.
Yeah. I'm gonna wave somebody in here. No, I'm just kidding.
Is he the coach?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's why we're here.
You're pretty good at multitasking. That's impressive.
Yeah, you'd think he was a mom.
Got
All
the
right.
legs for it. That's for sure.
All right. Do we need to discuss this anymore or just kind of leave it on the agenda for now to revisit
Yeah.
next month?
Wait. Why don't we leave it on the agenda?
Okay, we'll leave it there as well. These are things that can move to unfinished business. So moving on, unless anybody else has anything to say about that.
No, but I have a question. It's not on the agenda though. I'm sorry. May I?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Thank you. The past couple of meetings, so Drew, actually, this question's for you. The past couple of meetings, you've talked about this, like volunteer recruitment stuff. So I was just wondering, based on the discussion we had last time, were there any updates that the committee should know about, or where does that stand?
No updates. I've been, I got to get on that. But I think the only other thing that maybe we can help just clear up is, Jody, is there a short list of things that you specifically need help with, or do you, when I approach people about volunteering, is there something that in particular that you need help with, or am I just really asking for can drives?
Right now, we're, no, not right now. Nothing in particular right now that I can think of.
Okay, because I mean, the high school stuff, I don't foresee any of that happening anytime soon, but at least we can, extend the olive branch to make them aware. Scout stuff is kind of year round, but it generally dies down in the summer.
Right.
So I don't suspect to have any quick takers maybe this quarter, but I imagine, if I put out some feelers in the next month, we might have some bites in, say, September, October. So if I'm able to give them an idea of stuff, but I can just leave it open-ended in when I reach out to them and say, like, hey, this is going to be, we're looking for help. If there's any way, if they're interested in getting involved in a project at the animal shelter, because that's what they're passionate about, reach out to us and we'll figure something out that, can help both them and the animal shelter.
Yeah, and we run into.
I think we'll just go case by case.
Right. I think that's probably better, because we do still run into the issue with, per the city, we cannot have any volunteers who are under 18, like, on site. So that is kind of an issue. It does come down to, like, fundraisers or, item drives or that type of thing. Returning the pop and soda cans, bottles, is something they can do on their own. I know it's a pain, but it is something that they can do where they don't come in contact with the animals. But I kind of agree that leaving it a little open-ended, we might end up with some interesting ideas that we hadn't thought of, as opposed to trying to pigeonhole them and getting stuck with the same 2 or 3 things over and over.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll get an update for the next meeting.
All right. Thanks, Drew. Anybody else have anything? Okay, then our next meeting, July 15th, 2021. I know that the city's state of emergency is extended through the end of July, so that should still allow us to have at least one more Zoom meeting, if that's not further extended. And DC, correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think we can still meet on Zoom in July, correct?
I think we still can as of now. I know the city's talking about moving some stuff up and lifting some things, but nothing's been set in stone.
Okay, so we will set the meeting for Zoom unless we hear otherwise. Does anybody have any objections to that?
No.
Okay, then that brings us to the end of our agenda. And if there's nothing else, I am looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll move. We adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay,
I'll second Eileen.
all right.
Thanks, Travis, for chairing tonight. I really appreciate it.
Hey, you're welcome anytime.
You still have to vote.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. See you guys. Take
Night,
care.
everyone.
Have a happy 4th of July holiday.
Oh,
Thanks.
that's right. that's
Thanks,
coming
you
in.
as well. It seems like it shouldn't already be almost 4th of July, but it is.
DC,
We're in summer now.
Yeah.
DC, are you going to have another tour? Oh, I guess he's gone.
Yeah, probably.
He's there still.
No, there he is. Are
I'm
you
here.
going to have another tour of the police station?
What do you mean by another tour?
Well,
Open house, you mean? Or
yeah, open house, because I heard that
We're not good.
you turned some people.
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're not doing another open house. We didn't turn anybody away, but we had about 500 people show up. We gave
Wow.
about 15 tours of 25 people each. It was pretty busy. But if anybody wants one, give me a call. I'm happy to give you one, a personal tour.
Okay,
Oh, great. Cool.
thank you.
All right. Take care, everyone. See you later.
Good night.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Night. Bye.
Hey, Mike, do you want to stop it or do you want me to? I will.